welcome to another edition of Great British Churches. Today we're at Westhall St Andrew's Church, which is around about the sort of Beccles Way, near sort of Blythburgh and Suffolk.
It's part of the 100 River and Wainford benefice, and we've just had a lovely chat with the churchwarden and the vicar here, who's told us a lot of information. I do apologise, but there's a dog in a garden behind us barking.
He's right. You don't recognise us.
No.
Ipswich accent.
No, it's true. Now, this church, we have spent quite a bit of time in there. We actually joined in on the Sunday service, which, oops, this we never really do. Right, I'm going to pass the camera over to Paul because he's got a steadier hand than I have.
Okay, if I can pass the other stuff to you. There we go. So, okay, let's have a look. So this church, actually, this end of it is mostly Norman. The tower and that was been built later. But let's have a look. Nice porch here. I like it. It's very typical Suffolk.
We've got a real treat for people who are fans of the Norman architecture inside the church.
Yes. Shall we go around the church first, or do you want to go in?
I'll go round.
Let's go around. Yeah.
So I think there's a lot to see outside. Got a brick buttress there.
It is gorgeous. Let's go above Mel's Head and look at the beautiful stonework. What have I missed? I've missed something. It's thatched. Oh yes, it's thatched roof.
And you can see there's a blocked window there.
Oh yes, that's the one we can see from the inside, I think.
It is.
Let's have a look.
But look at the old glass, how it's all rippled. There's bullseye in that top bit there as well.
And if you look at the bullseye glass, which is up there, sort of up there, that was made because when they used to make glass, they would spin it. And you'd blow it, make a bowl, cut it open and spin it. And that was why glass was incredibly expensive. I've just had a gnat bite me, and I won't say where. Right, let's angle that back a bit. There we go. But for a tiny village, in fact, we can't even see much of a village. It's just a sprinkling of houses. Very few people. In fact, we're here on a Sunday. The Sunday service, I think, 3 people.
Yeah.
Which plus the vicar, which unfortunately is away. But as you can see, if I just have a quick spin round the churchyard, you know, sort of have a look at the sort of beautiful cypress tree there. There are some quite modern graves here, so there's people use it.
There's also a lot of old ones as well.
Oh yeah, they're really. We've got one over here. We've got shaking of hands. Somebody last year just walked past. I try not to film headstones from that are really new, because it's you know, these are people with families still. I just walked past one with 1997 on it. It looks like it might be 1897 for the age of it. But let's have a look. This is the east wall with the cross up there.
Yep.
And that window. There is medieval glass still in this one. The churchwardens just told us, actually, that a lot of the glass. This is so far out of the way. Both the churchwarden and the vicar have said that it probably escaped. There's a plaque there that's now missing. We don't know what that is, but
So we've got headstops, look, on either side to the
oh yes, see them? Look,
there's somewhere there's gargoyles.
And one on the other side, gargoyles. We'll have a look. Let's have a look
Well,
round.
keep looking. We don't always see these things first time around.
No, but this is quite a big church actually for an incredibly rural area.
It was really nice that the vicar and the churchwarden spent time with us explaining this, and we very rarely get that.
No, we do turn up at things blind. I'll be careful. There's something is meant to sticky in there, and it's still sticky by the looks of things. So, we're talking a dead bird, but look at those windows.
So look at the priest's door, and it's got a step.
Let's go through.
you remember at Keddington you said that there was
a moat?
Like a moat around the church.
Yes.
And you had to get over a bridge.
Isn't that it just exquisite?
We've got that here as well, look.
Yes, there. I'm looking round because for other things like scratch tiles and things, but this is a very, very busy cemetery. But have a look. Isn't that carving just exquisite? And obviously the priest door there for back in the days when there was a Catholic priest, and he'd have gone in there because this is the chancel, right?
Yes.
Yes, I've got it right. I usually get the nave and chancel completely back to front. But with it, back in Catholic times, this has been where the business of the church went on, and the folk would have been down the other end. Lovely little doorway there, isn't it? I don't know what that was for, but nice bit of brick above it.
It's probably another priest's door.
Probably another one. Yeah. Yes, we've been told that the church this end here is the original church, and when we go in we can show you something that is, well, there's not just something, there's a lot. This little country church is stunning.
Okay, so we've got a lot to tell you on this one. So you've got a Norman church of nave and chancel, and in the late 13th century the tower was built onto the west end and a north aisle was added. The crucial change came in the 14th century when a splendid new chancel was built, and because it masked the south side, the old Norman chancel was dismantled. But you can see that this is an original part of the church by the door. Go on, Paul.
This is...
And this is not what we are going to show you. This is not the best one.
Oh, you should look at the stonework there. Isn't that just exquisite?
This is not the best doorway by any stretch of the imagination. It really isn't.
But Norman there, we can see the thatched roof. The 14th century tower, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's go round the front.
No, 13th century.
13th century. That's a big tower for 13th century. Very sort of rough stonework on that, which is unusual because a lot of them, especially in Victorian times, would have had repairs. Oh, found a scratch tile.
Lovely.
If you wonder what we talk about scratch tiles in this videos, that's one there.
They're not just to tell the time; they're also to mark the events of the church, like harvest or Easter or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it out there. I think it's liturgical.
What does that mean?
But I am not entirely sure. And look at that little tiny window.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Norman lancet window.
Right up there to the bell tower.
And there's the gargoyles.
Oh, the gargoyles! Where am I looking?
On the corners at the top.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. I'm going to get you out of the sun a bit. There we go. How's that?
Right. The tower was actually heightened in the 17th century.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And you can see that there's a circuit, which is probably that ridge below that bell open window up there.
That's the old ridge, isn't it?
Yeah, so that is going to be like the where from where it was extended, heightened.
But these churches, as a conversation we've just had with the churchwarden, the vicar, they are constantly worked on. I mean, there's a bit of stainless steel at their handle. Look for getting up on the roof to do repairs and get down on your ladder.
Angle buttresses there. You know, they've all got flushwork panels in there. This stone is pulled from the fields.
Isn't that incredible?
You know, because we don't have, we said it's a lot in a lot of videos, we don't have a lot in the way of big lumps of good stone. If
you look at this wall, there are, you know, these things have had to be, these buildings have been repaired over centuries and still need it. In fact, we've just talked about massive amounts of money for a new roof, which is down at the east end there. But you look at it, it's just a jumble of whatever. Yeah. Somebody's gone, oh, a bit of brick there, we'll chuck that in the wall.
A bit of flint in there, a little bit of septaria. It's all sorts. There's another block window here. Look,
This
look,
one in the
underblocked
porch.
that.
And how that's been repaired, like that somebody's not that good at the flint work. Like they're sort of like, well, I'll put that in there, I will, but I'm not very good at flint. There you go. So, just a lot of my accent. Ow! I've just been hit. You know, we come and look at these churches, and they always end up in violence. I've noticed that.
Look, we've got shields above the door here, and then you've got flowers in the moulding there. It's just amazing.
And then we go into the porch.
So this porch was built in the 16th century. I tell you, if I don't fall over today, it'll be a miracle. I've had a couple of good goes already.
There we go. There's a bit of information. If you'd like to, just press the 3 buttons and you can read that at your heart's content. Oh, we've got some big headstops here, which Mel always enjoys seeing.
I do love a headstop.
It's a beautiful doorway, mate. But this isn't the original doorway for the church, as we've been told. We'll go in. Shall we go there next?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll go there next. So there's a beautiful door.
Something stuck to my shoe.
Just say hello to David, the churchwarden. Hi. So if we go in, let's just have a look down the aisle here and just sort of give you an idea of this church. As you can see, we've got all sorts in here. This is going to be a 2 or 3 part video, I should imagine. But this is the original doorway. Now, from this side, looks quite plain, but if you look at that stonework on the outside there, it gives you an idea.
It's a little hint.
Little hint of what's in there. And look at that. This bell tower, this was the entrance, and this bell tower has been built on, as we've been told. So here we are, we've got the bell ropes here, we've got the lights that are up there into the bell tower. So I'm going to go around here. Are you ready for this? How's about this? Look at that.
The original Norman doorway.
Isn't that just exquisite?
And as we've learned today, they put in was the bell.
Yes, yeah.
And they chopped away at this bit here.
Because they want the bells and they didn't give a hoot about stuff being...
So when they put that in, they didn't really think a lot about a Norman doorway being special. So they chopped that and put that in there. But you can see from the mouldings...
Yes, let's have a look at these mouldings.
That they start off plain.
And we've got faces. Yeah. And we've got gargoyles. Look at him, he's interesting, isn't he?
He's quite gruesome, that last one.
That last one, isn't it? And they've got a bit of water damage on them as well, which is sort of added to them. But if we look at the bottom of the door, can I just point out there? Yeah. They've actually chomped away at the stonework to get the rim of the bell through. Yeah. And then obviously take them up. But if I just go up there, look at that. That is original, like Romanesque. If you look at that in the middle, very typical. Yes, that stretches back because it's a copy of it's Romanesque because they copied Roman building, Roman temples. Yeah. I mean, Christianity in this country didn't really get here till long after
700 and something.
700.
Pope Gregory sent the first pilgrims over here to take over from the pagans.
Ireland and some places were already Christian a century and a half, 200 years before.
I think it's 760 something.
Something along there.
Please don't shout at me if I've got that wrong.
But let's have a look. We've got the doorway through, which is that the priest's doorway, the old one? No, because we think that's down there, don't we? Yeah. But this what do we call this bit? This aisle?
This is the west.
Look at the ceiling, isn't it
South
gorgeous?
South. No, that's the east window. That's the west tower.
Yeah.
Go on then.
North, south. Yeah, south aisle. Yeah, this is. But as you can see, this, as we've been told, is the oldest part of the church.
And you can feel the age in here.
You can, and you. I mean, it's just covered in. They keep finding bits of. Look at that! Isn't that gorgeous?
Wall paintings.
There's bits all over this church.
Yeah.
And it is gorgeous. I mean, we're going to go back up and have another look at that window because it is just amazing. Slowly, slowly, she says, I'll go slowly.
And then we've got another wall painting here.
Look at that.
And the churchwarden has said that it's probably the tree of life.
Isn't that incredible?
Stunning.
Stunning. And look at that in there, that archway. That is just, it's amazing. So this is the oldest part of the church, and we're told, I can't swing the camera in because Mel's where I want to be, but there we go, step aside. There was a tower here, and it's on the plans in the guidebook for here.
Is that last arcade, that last arch of the arcade there, is apparently smaller.
Smaller than the others.
Because of the tower that was here originally.
But as you can see, you can make out old, there's all sorts of things flying around in here and falling on me, but...
There's supposed to be bats up there as well.
Bats, yes, we like bats up here.
I can't see any, but know where they hide. But
Oh, they're out. But as you can see, there's old windows. This church has been chopped around, and like they all have. You know, these windows are later to this part of the church, and obviously there would have been just little Norman. What do you call it? What are Norman windows called? Like that one up, the lancets, like that one up there above the doorway.
that's a lancet window.
That's a lancet window. So
Lancets are tall and thin, like a lancet.
now we've got a royal coat of arms there. Who have we got, Lord Mel?
I think it's George III.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have people screaming at me if it's George II, but I have a feeling that it is George III.
Okay.
I can't honestly tell you at the moment. I'm trying to find it. You do this to me every time.
I've got things biting at me.
Oh, well, you're just a tasty morsel.
I am. I'm strawberry flavoured, right? And with the pews here are amazing. Mel did tell me how old they were.
I would imagine that there's some going from 14th, 15th century.
They're gorgeous. If you ever look,
I would imagine these are 15th century, these ones, just by the appearance of them.
a good age indicator, if you just look at the ends of these, they all have a little hole drilled in them.
Ah, and then we've got a ledger stone here.
Yes.
For Edmund Bowen.
Let's have a look at that.
And his wife, Hannah. But there is a tomb up this corner.
Here it is. Look at that. I missed this first time round. Isn't that amazing?
Beautiful, isn't it?
That is just gorgeous.
It is absolutely amazing. I love it when you have these big elaborate tombs in these country churches. They go, read that. Something about Thomas Plantagenet.
Plantagenet, yeah, well, there's a name we know. Thomas Plantagenet. I'll tell you what, if I hold it like that.
I don't think anybody's going to be able to read that. I'm standing
Earl
here
of
and I can't read it.
Lord Berners, and Catherine. They always have issues, don't they? That means having a child.
Yeah.
1602, that is. So if you're watching in other parts of the world, you can put that down to your own
Well, this is
history.
the tomb of Nicholas Bowen. And
Yeah,
he
there
actually married... He married the sister of Sir Edward Coke. And Sir Edward Coke is England's first great lawyer. And the brass on the wall sets out his genealogy in considerable detail.
That is. Well, I'm going to get you up close and personal with that again, just so it might be something that you can read, press the 3 arrows and you can read in your own thing. But it's actually an issue in English, which is sometimes unusual.
In November 1602.
Look at the stone that somebody's engraved in. Probably a little game or something. Look,
I would
it says
imagine
squares.
this had an effigy on here.
Yeah.
If you look at the...
I would imagine.
Right, so Thomas... Hang on a minute.
Oh, yeah, I've already done that. I've already pointed that out.
Oh, have you?
Yes.
Oh, right.
But, no, do you want to...
I'll go sit in the car.
Go and sit... No, you hold the camera because it's heavy and I'll go and sit in the car. There we go. We've got that window. Look at that. Gorgeous.
Absolutely stunning.
Stunning.
And you've got the priest door there.
This one, and yeah, if we looked at the one in the corner, that's the priest door from the that we saw outside. So we've got the organ.
There's not a piscina here.
Yeah, I thought there is further up.
Yeah, further up, but not here. I
Not
would
here.
have thought if this had been the early church, there would have been a piscina here.
Yeah, it's probably been filled in or something. But there's a lot of work gone on here.
Yeah.
This has had your 14th and 15th century Bob the Builder. They've been in here. Because these churches, I mean, look at the wall paintings. It's exquisite. And constantly worked on.
More lights left on.
No, I think we'll be fine, David. Just a bit, thank you. Just checking with us to see if we can see. But let's head round. I'm going to get Mel to explain the font next, because the font is something really unusual.
Yeah.
Oh, more graffiti. I do love churches for graffiti, because people tend to leave their mark.
But it's only good if it says 1600 and something and not 2022.
2022. Somebody's written a whole ledger on there. I can't read it, but
Yeah.
that is incredible.
Right, we've got to find the beginning.
The beginning of this font. Now, I'm going to hover you over the top so you can have a look. Beautiful lead lines.
Right, you've got to start from the east.
East.
Start from the east.
Right, okay, let's go around here and start from the east.
And you've got to go clockwise.
That way round, yeah.
Clockwise.
Yeah, that way round.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you've got mass.
there we go. In that panel there. And this has still got the original paint. Or paint that's certainly, it's probably been touched up over the years,
Are you
but
going to go to the next one?
I'm going to go to the next one. We've got mass. Missing heads, because the interregnum brought about a lot of the Reformation. And
So the next one is the baptism of Christ.
as you can see, a little bit scratched out there, but
It's quite,
it's still there.
yeah. But you see, baptism of Christ would have been quite a holy thing.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most religious bits on here. And then you've got the ordination. And apparently you're about to see a lettered book and a Christmas tree. Yes.
Yep. I don't know what Christmas tree is.
No, I don't either.
Oh, onwards.
Right. We've
Right.
got baptism.
Baptism, as you can see, with the font.
Yep.
And there's David there with his dog.
I'm going to take my dog for a walk. He's sat long enough. If you'd like to pull the door too.
We will do.
We will do, David. Thank you very much for your help.
Thank
Enjoy the
you.
rest of the day.
Thank
We'll
you.
do, and
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye. But if you ever look at these, how these people are dressed, I like this. Like, probably school children have come up with a pencil and marked in the faces.
Yeah.
Because these have all been chonked about, haven't they?
So you've got baptism, and you can see what we've always said about these big bowls. These were to put the whole child in,
Yes.
because they were covered from head to toe in water so that the devil could not get in. And you can see that the priest is very definitely, I think, holding the legs. It looks like he's holding
Oh
the
my
legs.
God! Yeah. That's it. So you go in. Look at that.
Yeah. It's either that or a
I
cat.
tell
There's
you.
even a bit of a tail going on there. But I think he's holding the legs and dunking the child in.
Well, it's something we've said it in a recent video. It's something we've only realised.
The shoes.
Clogs.
Isn't that beautiful?
Gorgeous. Even the little font is decorated to look like this font at
Exactly,
the bottom.
yeah.
You know, this is
It's amazing. And just the pleats in her dress, or his robe, I suppose. It's a woman, isn't it? And she's got a belt on there. It's just amazing. So that is baptism. The next one is confirmation.
there we go. Who's been confirmed here? Well, we don't know because they've had their heads knocked off, but
Yeah. But you've got the original paint here. And it's also the little bits in the panels. And then
Look at
you've
that.
got angels, I suppose, under here.
had their faces chopped off. But
Yeah.
we'll point you up to the roof in a bit and see where that more and more of that's happened.
Yeah.
What's the next panel?
Matrimony.
Oh yeah.
So you see husband and wife getting married. So that's obviously the wife.
How old is this
is
font
it?
now? What year sort of period? The 1500s, I'd say.
Yeah, it's old. And I would say that this is slightly older than that. I might be wrong.
Yeah, I'd imagine that looks too, and the graffiti artists haven't had a go at it.
I will have a look to see how old it is. I didn't actually write down how old the font is. But while we're going around, I'll try and have a look and then I'll let you know.
Oh,
so the next one is Penance.
Yes.
So you've
got the fiery chap there.
Yeah. Look, it's even got, is that a tail?
It's got a tail, look at that. It's got a tail, look. And I'd say they're 14th, 15th century, maybe a bit later by the... But if you have a look, there's this beautiful detail here, look. Because this is the Reformation and especially about the times of the Civil War.
Well, the Reformation was the 16th century. William Dowsing was 17th century. So it would have had to have been created before that. Before
then, and hacked about as people's tastes changed.
Probably as young as early 15th century. So the last one is Extreme Unction.
What does that mean?
I would imagine it's something about attending to the sick, because you've got a bed.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably dying, death and dying.
That's it, yeah, and you can see that there. Got a couple of limbs there, so that's probably...
Do you have to mock religion?
No, I'm not mocking religion.
We might not know a lot, but there's no need to mock it.
I'm not mocking it. I just find it amazing. If we go back to the first one here, look, how it's completely headless.
Right, we've just come back to the font because I forgot to mention this. This is the penance panel. And it's interesting because the demon is large enough to have played the part of the bad angel in a morality play. And he's actually sneaking away from the kneeling penitent. So you can see the kneeling penitent is there. And there you've got the devil sneaking away. So
I like how somebody's boring lies, like probably with a penknife or something, and then coloured them to look that way. This
is sort of telling that this is sort of part of a contemporary play.
Yeah.
So something that would have been a modern thing when this was created. Now, do you want to turn round
and
talk about this?
Where am I looking? Oh, up on here. Look at this.
Now, Mortlock describes this as a St. Christopher. I disagree that it's a St. Christopher because St. Christophers are normally painted opposite the church door.
When was Mortlock writing?
Not that long ago. But there is a church door that side, so he could be right. But we spoke to the churchwarden. He never mentioned anything about this being a St. Christopher, but...
I hope you can see that one. I'll try and get a better angle.
He does say about this character here. Now, you may be like me and think, oh, that's the devil. It isn't. Apparently, it's Moses, and he's receiving the tablets of the law in the top left-hand corner. So he's receiving tablets of the law.
Ah.
And who is always shown with horns of light by medieval artists. Now, the churchwarden and the vicar do say that is due to a misinterpretation.
Yeah.
Instead of having the crown of light, they interpreted it as thorns. There is another one this side. I don't know if you're going to put
this
up.
I can see. I can see. I'm not sure if the camera can. If I change the angle a bit, maybe we can see it better.
They unfortunately don't know who that character is.
No.
And that sort of appeared as if by magic over time.
Because these wall paintings do come out. A lot of them would have been scraped away in the Reformation, but they do come out from time to time.
You can see here.
Yes.
We've got
a
blocked window.
Yeah, and the one above the door as well.
Yeah, there is something there, isn't there?
Yeah.
But that was probably blocked because they put the porch in.
Yeah, that's true.
And so common sense would say if there's a window here and a window there, and there's a painting in between, then there's going to be one here.
Yes.
But nobody knows.
Nobody knows because it's as the vicar had explained to us. The trouble is, it's getting these things uncovered. If they've just been whitewashed over, you know, we got the
You've got to
role
have
of...
someone who's brave enough to say, yes, I can remove the paint, the whitewash, whatever, to see if there's anything there. They've also got to have the money. And this is a very large parish church with a very small congregation.
Very small. Let's have a look at that glass. I don't know if you can make it out with the bullseyes from. They are proper original. That's how they make glass. What we saw
I
from
never
outside.
asked what that was. I don't know.
Oh, I saw that earlier, and I was a bit.
I don't know what
is
that
it?
is. If anyone can tell us, because we've got wood panelling there. I'm
It
wondering if it was
matches the
some
pews, look.
I'm wondering if it might have been some doorway.
A hatchway or something.
Don't know. Honestly, do not know.
Because we...
Up there, look.
Yeah, a little bit
Tiny
of
bit
medieval glass. See, the iconoclast would have come in there. If we have a look, we've got angels.
Yeah.
This is a common theme locally to have angels. If you can see, they've all had their heads knocked off.
Got an angel there.
Yeah,
There's another one there.
another one.
But what strikes me, especially this one here,
You've still got colour on it.
it's the paintwork on the chest.
Yeah.
On the I suppose it's a shield, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. And
And you've got another one here. Look, you've got subtle greens in there. Just look at that collar.
it's beautiful, isn't it?
Absolutely amazing. But up above, to me, is the best bit, and it's the cambered collared beam.
You have a look. I don't know if you can make out. There's such exquisite fretwork in it, isn't there?
There is, and a lot of it has suffered damage over the years.
There we go. Let's have a look where she's
Don't know
pointing.
if that is got a bit missing there. Why it would be damaged up there? It might be that it's had woodworm or or something
very
like
old.
that.
We've got a rood stairs which has got a door on it. Actually, the
Would you like to see if you can open that?
let's have a look because I am a. Well, we've got a lot of stuff coming in the way of rood. Let's just move the hymn board. Let's have a look and see. And there is the old rood stairs.
And I did like it.
Going
when
up.
The churchwarden said his daughter asked if that was the stairway to heaven.
I think that's beautiful.
That is gorgeous, isn't it?
Let's put that back as we found it. Got a nice pulpit here.
So just before you move on to the really startling piece in this church. Now the pulpit is a Stuart pulpit. So you're talking 1600.
Yes.
And it's got a broad blind arched front panel, I do apologise, front panel. And it's got well carved brackets to support the canted ledge.
And that was when religion in Catholic times, we've got an altar up there, which is where the service today was held from. But to use other people's terms, the church was swept down. Yeah. This would have been blocked off beyond here.
Yeah, everything that happened beyond this point was secret, really, because you'd have had the big rood screen that would have blocked a lot of the view, and you only would have seen when the vicar or the priest held up the host.
Yes.
That would have been the only thing you would have seen. There was a lot of this that would have been secret.
And that stairway up there, you can make out where it goes. Young boys would have crawled up there, and up there they'd have sat, kneeled behind a ledge and sung.
Like the churchwarden said, we're tall people. We're 6 foot.
Yeah.
People in the day would have been 2/3 or 2 3/4 our height.
Yeah.
Mature people.
Yeah.
You know, people were smaller. I think the only person I can think of that wasn't would have been Henry Dave. I think he was 6'3".
Yeah, but most people would have been tiny. Yeah. And they'd gone up there and they would have sung, because behind here, this would have been separate. Yeah. Can I show the pièce de résistance?
What's that? What, the rood screen?
The rood screen. Are you ready for a rood screen?
I think you ought to do something else.
Do something else? Like what?
I'm thinking we ought to keep them in suspense a bit longer.
Onwards.
I'm joking.
Right, come back. Reverse.
Right, okay.
Look at this. I'm going to get in close and personal with this, because this is something that is so rare in a church in Britain.
Now, it is painted, as you can see, and it's been done in 2 styles, in 2 distinct groups. So you've got the more primitive side, and you've got the more elaborate side.
Which is over there, and this is the elaborate side.
Now, the south range, from left to right, we have got St James the Great.
Yep.
So he is...
Go on, get your
I'm
pointy.
getting my pointer at here. That is St James the Great.
Yes.
We then have Leonard.
Oh, I've wondered if somebody called St Leonard, yeah.
You have, haven't you?
Yeah, we should have St Leonard's Day.
We're now going to have a joke about this one.
No, it's
We've got Michael. Yeah. I know there isn't one called Spencer. And then we've got Clement.
Clement, yes, you can see it's Clement because he was a pope, wasn't he?
And then we've got Moses. And then we've got Christ the Transfiguration. Now,
explain Transfiguration, because neither of us knew what this meant until a moment ago.
No, I think you better do.
I don't. I didn't really grasp it.
It's something about how Christ went up the mountain and he transfigured.
And glowed.
And glowed. And Reverend Phil, if you're watching this, I do apologise. I did listen, but we had so much information we took on that sometimes it just goes in one ear and out of the other because it has to make room for something else.
Okay.
So
who's the chap on the end? Or the last two then?
We've got Elias and Anthony.
Oh, St Anthony.
Right. Now
I just want to get in close and have a look. Can I just say something?
Yep.
Right? If we have a look, this would have been a rood screen, as we say. This would have gone across both sides of the church here, and beyond there would have been no man's land so far as ordinary parishioners go. I'd never noticed this earlier, like there is a Latin inscribed along here, but like other bits of rood, the rood screens are very rare. We did find one recently, but if you have a look how that's been chopped off.
Have you seen down this
it's almost like somebody with a chainsaw. Amazing.
Every little bit of that screen has been decorated.
And that's 650 years old.
Yeah.
Makes you think, doesn't it?
It's amazing.
It is. And shall we do this side?
Yeah. Now, this poor unfortunate lady here, there's only half of her, is Ethelreda.
Oh.
And then next to her is it Sitha?
That looks like Sitha on there.
Yeah.
Saint
Sitha. Then we've got St Agnes. And now we have St Bridget, St Catherine, St Dorothy, and if you just bear with me, I have to turn the page.
Poor old Dot's lost her face. Look, that's been scratched away.
We've got St Margaret there and St Apollonia.
All right.
Now, I have seen a documentary, and I did raise this with the vicar and the churchwarden.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the name of the church that the documentary was about. If I do remember, I will put it in the comments. But it was that Robert.
Yeah.
Person.
The BBC.
He went to a church that had a rood panel in one of the aisles, and it was all female saints. And that was where women, after they were given birth, they would have to be churched. They'd have to be welcomed back into the church. And they would go to that aisle with the panel of the female saints.
Yeah.
And that would be where they would be churched. That would be a special ceremony for them after they'd had child.
And that was a medieval Catholic ritual, yeah.
Now, I asked if this could be part of it. They didn't know. They said it was a possibility, but they couldn't be sure one way or another. I think it probably was.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's so strange that women, after giving birth, have to have this ceremony to be welcomed back into church and society again, whereas men didn't. They had a cigar and a pint.
That's it. Well done there. You've got a fine baby. Can you have a look how this has been chopped about? Like somebody's been in here. Somebody's been in here who's had chisel for Christmas, and
well, they've obviously put something there for that to be chiselled out in that manner.
Yeah.
Look, there's been some sort of board going across there.
Yeah.
It might have been at some point this has been covered up, and that was like a brace.
They've just done it to cover up, because it was probably just a bit of decent timber back in the time,
Well,
wasn't it?
this is obviously missing here. Look, this is new. That goes all the way up to the top. But you've got a gap here.
Yeah.
And it links in with that one. I wouldn't mind betting that there was a piece of wood there. I've seen how you put a fence up, so I know what I'm talking about. You'd put in a brace along there to there, and then you'd put a bit of board over the top of that. Bob's your uncle. That's covered.
That's it.
The iconoclasts are satisfied that there is nothing there for them to worry about.
They'd have come through all these churches and had a look. If we ever look at this side, go back into with the fellas. This is, we've got moulding in here. This is, I'm not going to touch it because it's, you know.
Touch it. It's
no,
lovely.
no, I'm not going to because it's just so old. But if you have a look, the vicar was saying that this would have been paid for, this is male saints and this is female. So if you have a look how much plainer that is, that is it's probably a bit later as well, I would have thought.
It was done in 2 different periods. You can see by this bit here, look, that is not as carved as that. Look, it's got circles and things all going on in there.
That is skill for anybody to do.
And you've got carving along the bottom there, and you haven't here. Mind you, that could be missing.
No. If we have a look looking at the stonework above it, you can see how that's been chiselled as well. Because there's a lot there and up there. And if we go up to the chancel arch.
I also noticed that we've got a column here that's suffered quite a bit of damage on. I believe it's that one.
Let's have a turn around.
It's all been pretty much
I
hacked about.
saw that, yeah, like somebody's put a partition in.
Yeah.
But if we spin round here and have a look, let's have a look. This is the joinery where the rood would have been. You can see if we look up there's your stairway. Yeah. And if you come out up here, there's been a platform
gallery
up there somewhere where I've just locked the road screen. But
never heard that.
Never heard it, no. But let's head off into the chancel.
Now the churchwarden says something about these glasses. This glass, isn't he?
This.
They've collected all the medieval glass. They've added a little bit here and there as well, and they've put it all into the east window. But I'm going to tell Paul to stop in a moment. Keep walking. Keep walking.
I'm walking.
Stop. Look up. Look up, and you will see here.
Yes.
Now, depending on your school of thought, that's either a man called Bishop Salmon. And who was Bishop Salmon, Paul?
Bishop Salmon, he was a very important man.
We've heard all about him from the churchwarden.
He was the Bishop of Norwich, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Because it's actually a 19th century thing.
Have a look, because they say that he's the Bishop of Norwich because he is standing above Norwich Cathedral.
Oh, yeah.
And you could argue that that's probably Norwich Spire there.
Yep.
But other people do think that that is God.
Yeah.
And why shouldn't God overlook his church? Also, Bishop Salmon was also instrumental in this church looking the way it does.
Wow.
Now, I haven't noticed this and no one mentioned it. So you're now going to read that.
Okay.
And you're going to tell all our lovely viewers what that is.
The Westhall cross. The altar cross is made from ravaged timber recovered from the nave roof in 2006 during a 3-year restoration project. The cross on which Jesus died is a symbol of his greatest challenge, one that he overcame. The cross reminds us also that also of all that was destroyed, and in the restoration of the roof, all that can become overcome through faith, skill and perseverance.
And I did notice when we were down the other end that there is a frame down there, recognising the efforts of 2 people that saved this church from being destroyed by fire in 2012.
Wow.
And we'll talk about that when we get down there again. But look, I should imagine it's medieval glass.
That is definitely medieval glass. Yeah. It's actually the churchwarden and the vicar both was saying that a lot of this glass has survived because we are so far out of the way here. Yeah. What was the first question both said to us? How did you find us?
Yeah.
Because we've come from about 30, 40 miles away.
Yeah. It's Well, I knew where we were going because we had Sat Nav.
We have Sat Nav, yeah, and that was a...
But if you didn't have Sat Nav, you probably would have got lost.
Oh, just having a look at the piscina.
Piscina.
Isn't that beautiful?
You've got the arch there. Does that arch look like it's been a bit battered on the inside?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
Like oggy arches.
It's got lovely pieces of wood and things still in it. So it's nice. It's nice to see something from a. Really, I mean, look, stuff's been chiselled up front. There's probably imagery on there. It's been gone. Like you can see, it took a chunk out of the piscina.
And we've got a villa here as well. I know.
Yep.
What is that, Paul?
I don't know. I think it probably held a. I don't know, a chalice or something. I don't know. No, I don't. It's we're. I'm going to spin round that way and just have a seat on this. What am I sitting on? Priscilla. Sedilla.
That's either Sedilla or Sedilia. I've heard it's pronounced both ways.
But it's in.
No, it could be that is for a towel.
A towel?
It's a towel rail.
Towel rail? I hear you.
It's a bathroom cupboard
Oh,
for
it is,
a
those
towel
candles
rail.
in there. But.
And then you've got the decalogue boards either side.
Let's have a
there.
look at those. Exodus chapter 20.
Yeah.
Thou
Exodus
shalt
because
have.
it's the Ten Commandments.
Oh yeah, I always like reading these in churches because some of them, the English is a bit ropey because it's
Thou
really
shalt
holy.
have none other gods than me. It is a bit,
Yes.
isn't it? It is. You will do as you're told.
Well, this is it, and these are Victorian, really, aren't they?
They are.
Put there to sort of tell you how to behave.
They are. They're sort of scary.
But we think, from what we've been told, the roof above us, the thatch was taken down. It's actually tiled now, but the ceiling is, as we've seen, if we have a look up there, it's just exquisite. We've got roses and
here where we're sitting now, or where you're sitting, I'm standing. I notice you're not like gentlemen.
well, no, you got to come inside of the.
Thoroughly restored in 1882, and you'll notice some grand choir there. I've got coffee heads. Now, what is sad about this is they've got such a small congregation, this church, that they just use the chancel as the church.
It is. I mean, if you get this has got to be 100 feet or more across, a length, and wide, probably 30 foot. But this has been built on and built on. Look at how the chancel arch. It's not straight.
One thing I learned about the chancel arch is from the chancel side, a lot of the arches would be very plain and boring. But from the nave, where everybody sits, they're going to be more elaborate.
Yeah, because where we're standing now in Catholic times, this is priestly stuff up here.
This is the view that the priests would have. So they didn't need to have anything elaborate.
Yeah, if you can have a look, we're looking at the back of the. Don't fall down that step, by the way.
Just nearly did.
Have
you seen these carvings here, though?
Let's have a look.
I don't like.
That
They look
could be
like
gorgeous.
a dodo to me.
It does. They're really funny.
Yeah,
Funny
and you've
things.
got a rabbit there. Look.
There we go. And
Is that a swan there?
looks like it. If we have a look, we know these are later. If you look at, there's a lot more intricate carved on them, but there's no thingy for a lighter taper. So what they've done, they've got a reed and dipped it in beeswax.
These are even more plainer, look.
Yeah, these are very plain. These are certainly much later. There's some really old ones down the other end. Let's have a look at the back of the rood. See, look, I mean, it looks to me like it's graffiti on there, look. And stuff has been painted. I just love how they've been cut down. Can you go to the church and cut that rood screen down?
It's got life.
It has, very much. And this church does. I mean, although the congregation's small, isn't it? There's life. This is still used. This is still, people value
People
this.
still get up on a Sunday knowing that there's not going to be many people. There's a handful of parishioners that come in here. But they do tell me that harvest and Easter,
It's full.
This place is full.
And it can seat a lot.
Yeah.
Lovely organ there.
Yeah, I should imagine that's Victorian.
Yeah, oh God, oh yeah. But have a look, we've got some very simple
This has
pews.
been chomped away, to coin a phrase that you would use. you know, you've got the base there of that column, that's been chomped
Yeah.
to get this panel in for the pew.
Yeah. It is.
And I would imagine these other columns have all had the same attack done on them to get these pews to fit in. See, look, to stop you clocking your ankles on there, they've cut that one away.
Chomped away, like there's a big old lump missing out up there. Like.
Yeah, this one is the one I think has really been.
It's been. You can see the chisel marks in it, and you can still see some colour in them arches.
Deliberate as well. If you look
Yeah.
at that, look, that's got an angle on there, so that has had something there.
Someone's had a wallop. We can see these are probably 16th, 17th century pews, very
I
plain.
would imagine these are about 18th century.
Yeah, because they've got curved ends on them, which is that took some work to do that.
Been Jacobean, I would imagine, with the curved end there.
But these are older. We sat here earlier to listen to the service, and
Yeah, these are not comfortable.
they are not, and they're for little bottoms.
They are for very little bottoms, and I haven't got a big little bottom, and mine is. Well, it's not substantial, but it's a lot bigger than that.
That's
And
the hole for the taper.
yeah, and I kept sliding off them.
And that's why the insects are making a meal of me.
Yeah,
They can get
and
to
we better
me.
turn that light out.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think we've just about concluded our video. Anything?
I think so. Come on, you want to do it? Let's go and have another look at the Norman arch, because it is a stonker. There we go. Little window.
I'll let you go and take them in there again.
Look at that. You could be walking into a Roman temple, couldn't you? Let's have a look. Got to do it. Let's have another look. Let's have another look, because it is amazing. Look at that. My word. Look at that. 700-800 years old. How's that? This was covered over in the 14th century, and I think it's one of the best in the country, actually. It's survived. Apart from idiots that knocked the bottom out. Oh, we've got to get their bell going up there. Oh, yeah, look at that. Romanesque arches. Actually Romanesque, because that's how a Roman temple was done. Shall we wind this one up now?
Yep, I think so.
Oh, what?
So do you want to do the...
Right, if you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll take my glasses off to look even more earnest. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much.